This is your gaming weekly news. Grand Theft Auto pre-orders just started and the game is exploding with a reported 39 million units already sold. Except, how in the world could that number ever come to surface? Because Xbox doesn't report their sales numbers, PlayStation hasn't said anything, and Rockstar has been silent, with 12 million YouTube views for their reveal of the artwork video and a bunch of screenshots just released. Everyone knew there was supposed to be a brand new gameplay trailer. What you're seeing here is the only gameplay and some of the best parts of their trailers and footage that they've shown to this point. Back on the Xbox 360 and PS3 era when Grand Theft Auto 5 was coming out, a gameplay trailer wasn't until about 6 months later, and the game was delayed and released in September. So Rockstar doesn't have to show us anything, but people have already, including myself, already pre-ordered the game to get those pre-order bonuses, and everyone is choosing between an $80 version and a $100 version. This is one of the biggest gaming epics, and it's going to be a huge opportunity for Xbox and PlayStation to sell consoles and sell games. So if you're waiting for unedited raw gameplay of Grand Theft Auto 6, you probably won't see that until later on at the end of the summer. But the reality is Rockstar doesn't have to show us raw gameplay. In fact, it might actually be beneficial to them to only show us the world and let us experience what gameplay looks like for ourselves. It's crazy to see people are pre-ordering and ready to buy the game day one anyways. Grand Theft Auto is supposed to be the biggest moment even for Xbox, who has been in a big downward spiral trying to come out of it, and then they announced just yesterday that they're increasing their current console prices $100 and $150 more. This is their third price hike this generation, and it's totally out of control. If you want an Xbox Series S, you're going to be paying $500, the asking price for the launch Xbox Series X. The Series X is now $800, and they've discontinued the 2 terabyte model because storage is getting so expensive. All of this is because Xbox has explained that RAM prices have increased 2 times to almost 5 times, with a projected 7 times increase in RAM and storage components for the current consoles, even looking forward into next generation. But it isn't just the fault of AI, Sam Altman, and ChatGPT for the increase in RAM, because actually Xbox put themselves in this horrible position before AI even became a major issue. Yes, AI is one of the main contributing factors for Xbox increasing their console prices now and looking into the future. But you have to understand that back in 2022, even 2023 and 2025, Xbox was starting to leave the console business. If you remember, you can get with this or you can get with that. And the no console required, the previous leadership with Phil Spencer behind Satya Nadella and Amy Hood and Sarah Bond were pushing the initiative that Xbox could be bigger than just the console, up to the fact that I would speculate they were going to leave behind the console business completely. This would mean that they could fizzle out what remaining people are on the Xbox Series consoles and then push for cloud-based, multi-platform across PlayStation, Nintendo, and PC, and then that would be the brand of Xbox. Thankfully, Asha Sharma and her new set of leadership are pushing for console exclusivity, console focus, but at what cost? And to make things worse, Valve finally released that price model for the Steam machine, and it's not good. You can get the base model Steam machine for $1,050, or you can upgrade to 1 terabyte or 2 terabytes, nearing almost $1,500 for this console PC hybrid. And the worst part, it's not even a good piece of hardware in the 2020s. Linus Tech Tips did an incredible breakdown video that was super thorough and broke down everything you can expect from the console, but especially performance. And looking at games like Doom: The Dark Ages running at low settings at 46 FPS, you can see that the Steam machine cannot punch anywhere near the weight of the current generation consoles, being what I would see as far less powerful than even the Xbox Series S, even with this price hike, is half the price of the Steam machine. And this directly points at where Xbox is sitting now and where they're going into the future. I would not recommend anyone pick up the Steam machine. Build your own PC, or maybe pick up a current console, which seems to make games look and run better no matter which one you choose. There are fans asking for Xbox and PlayStation to delay next generation, but I don't think it's going to happen. In fact, Kepler L2, a very trusted leaker when it comes to PlayStation, was asked directly if he thinks that the PS6 was going to be delayed because of the increasing RAM prices, and he simply replied, nope. And you have to understand that Xbox and PlayStation have been spending 2 to 3 years and a bunch of money for R&D for the upcoming consoles. They've already built out the chipset for the Xbox Project Helix, and those are going into TSMC for manufacturing, so they're already moving forward. And Microsoft and Sony want to start making money on those consoles, even though the whole outlook with price increases has made that a very dire situation. Here's another thing you have to remember. The base model price of consoles just a few years ago was $500 for a powerful mainstream console like the PS5 or Xbox Series X. Now both of those have been raised up to $700 or $800. So that would be your starting point looking forward to next generation. Not $2,000 like some people are saying. I know that when you see RAM prices going up 5 times, even 7 times in cost, then it means the consoles would be tripled or quadrupled in price. But the reality is that Xbox Project Helix is probably, in today's numbers with the new price hike, is probably sitting around $1,200, and the PS6 is sitting somewhere around $900 where their current PS5 Pro is. Here's the problem. Micron just announced that they are making an unprecedented, history-setting amount of revenue as they sell RAMs to data centers and to suppliers and people like tech enthusiasts and gaming companies so they can make consoles and PCs. And it's definitely not looking good for Xbox and PlayStation. Micron said, quote, "Our customers are recognizing that supply shortages in memory and storage will take considerable time to improve, even as we expect industry supply to improve gradually in 2028. We currently do not have line of sight as to when memory supply will be able to catch up with increasing demand," close quote. But yet they're making boatloads of money off the back of enterprise and customers. This is another reason why the Xbox currently is in a worse situation than PlayStation and Nintendo. Microsoft used to have leverage when it comes to getting their components because they had enterprise and gaming and PC and Surface. But now, since Xbox laid down and stopped manufacturing consoles back in 2022 through 2025, they no longer have a position for acquiring those components. Now they're paying far more just for storage and RAM than their competitors like PlayStation and Nintendo are doing currently, which puts them in an even worse situation. Now, fans that are asking for Xbox or PlayStation to delay next generation consoles indefinitely can certainly sit there and say, hey, we don't need the new consoles, we can upgrade far later, delay them until 2028 or 2030. But the difference is, do you really want to sit with your current generation console for another couple of years? But if you're looking at the current generation console being over double what you paid back in 2020, you have to ask yourself, can you afford it? I created a video last week about Xbox All Access, and even with the rising price of the current consoles, they're actually recommending people go the buy now, pay later route with 0% APR. Financing your console seems like a ridiculous ask. It really sucks that the consoles have doubled in price. And it really sucks that the overall economy has been so ridiculous. Game prices are going up, and our wages have stayed the same. Delaying 1 to 2 years isn't going to change the cost of the components. So all it would do is just delay the inevitable that you're going to have to pay more later for these next generation consoles. Xbox and PlayStation can do something to make that price hike in the next generation a little bit easier, and that could be limiting the storage. Xbox is removing their 2 terabyte model, which is a smart thing to do. I think PlayStation and Xbox should move into next generation with just half a terabyte of storage. Give you the bare minimum, because let's be honest, most of us are only playing 5 or 6 games at a time. These are unprecedented times, and Grand Theft Auto launches at $80. Everyone seems to be buying the $100 version. The consoles just got a major price hike, with PlayStation with 2, Xbox with 3 of them. Now it's $700 to $900 just to play on a current generation console, and next generation is going to be even more expensive, and I think it's going to get even worse this year. And that's your gaming weekly news. This is Colteastwood. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I sat on a lot of these ideas all week. It's been very, very difficult. There's been a lot of layoffs. I didn't even bring up Bungie. There are some studios that are starting to talk about their layoffs that I covered last week. It's going to be a super difficult time as things trim down to a new focus. And it's going to be difficult for us as consumers because things are just getting more and more expensive. But there's a lot that's going to happen before we find out anything about next generation. If you ended up enjoying this video, let me know by liking and subscribing to the channel. Hit the bell to be notified of new content. If you subscribed, you can also hit the button again to join. That channel membership will get you early access for videos, some 10 to 12 hours before they go up public. You'll be first in the chat. I've got chat emojis. And if you're watching this on your phone, you can hit the hype button down there by the comment section, and that will hype the video. That does a lot, and thank you. I appreciate it. Also, check out the X&C podcast. That's a weekly show we do every Monday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Mag and I will break down all that we're hearing about with the price hikes and with next generation delaying or not. I really appreciate everybody for taking the time to hear us out on the live show. That's also on demand on Spotify and Apple Podcasts if you want to check that out after the fact. That's the X&C podcast. Thank you guys so much. Let me know what you think about this gaming weekly news and what you think about next generation. How much do you think it will cost? And were you lucky enough to get a current console before they jacked the price up $300? Let me know in the comment section. And while you do this, I always say, please be nice.